Hello everyone, my name is Callum and welcome back to my Let's Play series, where in the last episode we made our stators, our motors, we got crystal oscillators ready for automation, and we set up a temporary kind of factory for our heavy modular frames. So I left off in the last episode collecting some hard drives and getting ready to go into the next tier, which is going to be the second thing we do. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of set up like a montage of what I've built so far. So let's get straight into that. So that's pretty much everything we've done in the world so far. There are obviously a few exceptions that I didn't include, which is stuff like my AI limiters, my crystal oscillators, and other small bits like that. Because I don't have an actual factory of them, I've just decided to kind of leave them out of it, so you won't really be seeing them until I've got a non-temporary version of it. But now it's time to move on to the next building. But there is nothing else that we can kind of do in this world so far until we progress to the next tier. So let's do that. So, now that we can progress to the next tiers, I've actually already planned out what I would like to do for this video. So, what I would like to have done by the end of this video is have a automated plastic and rubber factory, and also get the stuff that I would need, like the fuel for my fuel generators. Obviously I won't be able to get the fuel generators for a little while because I'd have to make some kind of computer factory, but I would like to get the fuel ready for it. I will be using turbo fuel, so I'll have to go out and get some more hard drives because that's the only way I can get turbo fuel. But we're just going to go straight onto the first tier.
Milestone reached. Oil acquisition and refining unlocked. Oil-based products can now be made. The byproducts of oil refinement can be used after further processing, as seen in the refinery. Caution. This is a reminder to minimize the chance of expiration during out-of-base activities.
So, now we have our oil extractors and our refineries. I've already kind of set up a little bit of a base for our refineries, which is all the way over there because that's where the closest bit of oil is. So I'm going to check if there's anything else that I'd like to do before I go over there, and then we'll head off and show you what's going on over there. So this is what I built so far over here. All I've kind of got ready is the foundations. So the way I'm going to have it set up is I'm going to have all my refineries on this bottom bit here, and then all my fuel generators up there. That's kind of the way I'm wanting to set this all out. I've already got the pipes ready for this area. I just need to place the oil extractors and set them all up down here. So I'm going to do that, and then let's get to that point. So all the oil extractors are now powered on. Just checking if it's all going to the correct place. I have it all pumped into this kind of wall here, which goes all the way down here. There isn't anything here just yet, so I'm just checking if it's right. As well, I'm going to have to put power shards in all of these, as the factory that I have in mind is going to take 720 oil. If you give me a second, I'll check. Yeah, it's going to need 720 oil, crude oil, so this area over here only produces 360. So I'm going to have to use my shards to power them all up. So now I have 3 lines of 240. I'm only going to be needing 2 lines of 360, but obviously these pipes can only hold a maximum of 300. So I'm going to have to use this middle line at the very end to go into the back of the system. But I'm going to place the 12 refineries on either side, and I'll be back then. So I got a little bit carried away, but I got basically what I wanted to do. So the way it's kind of set up now is I have this 240 line going all the way around, which is just going to be going into the back of all of these just in a moment. And as you can see, it just goes all the way down to this end one there. And then I have this other 240 line split straight here. And then I'm going to bring these other pipes, this other 240 and this 120, because it's split from 240, down under, and I'm going to bring it all the way over to there and do the same thing over here. And the way I've kind of set it up is I have all of the outputs. So all this pipe here is going to be the heavy oil residue, and this top line is going to be more crude oil, which just comes straight down back into the side of the system, just because it only needs an extra 60, and obviously if it's using like a bunch of it here, it'll be able to be refilled back here, and that's all I really needed to do. So I'm going to fill, I'm going to do the pipe work for the back of it here, and I'll be back then. Right, so now I've done all the inputs, I'm going to have to do the output. Oh, I just need to bring this up here, which I think will look best if I do it like this. Yeah, so I just need to do the outputs, so actually I need to do this as well. So I'll have to put lifts going up, just because obviously I have this middle line with the rest of the oil. So I'm going to have to bring it all the way higher than this. So all of the actual plastic is going to be quite high up. But I have to see how that goes in a second. Yep. So now that I have the crude oil and the heavy oil residue all piped up, and also all the heavy oil residue is just going to go to here, which I think is just going to be brought this way, just over to the middle. I'm going to bring it like here. Oh wait, actually. So this is the heavy oil residue, and I'm going to have to put this into another refinery with, I think it's, let me see the name of it, the petroleum coke. I think it's the petroleum coke for the alternate recipe for turbo fuel, just because obviously this is making a lot of heavy oil residue, and I'm going to turn it straight into fuel, which is what's going to be done up here. Yeah, just where these are. I'm hoping I have enough space to place the 9 refineries that I need, and all of the oil, or is it fuel generators? But I'll have to see. I might have to extend this bit here or build them over here instead. But I'll have to see when I unlock the actual fuel generators, because I don't have them right now. But I'm going to figure out, after the autosave, how I'm going to set up all of this, just so all the plastics go into one place. As well, where I want it, I think it makes sense to bring all the plastic this way, so it's just closer to my, I guess, entrance, and then I can think about turning it into fuel, because I don't want to turn any of this on until I have the fuel set up, because obviously the heavy oil residue will just clog up the system, so I need it to be into a constant so I need the system to be turned on constantly, pretty much. And if I was to just turn it on now, if I was to put all the power in now, it would just make a bunch of the plastic, and then the heavy oil residue will clog up the system, and obviously we don't need that. So I think it'll be going this way, and I'll have an overflow system, so it'll be going in straight into an awesome sink for the plastic. So I had a little bit of a play around with the conveyor lifts and figuring out how I'm able to wire it all up to the same thing, and I couldn't do it because it just wouldn't fit. Every single way I tried, I didn't have enough space, because rather the refinery was in the way or the lifts wouldn't work properly, just because of the size. So I had to think of a different way of doing so. And the way I chose is, thankfully, I made plenty of space just to bring the belt just out like this. And because there is no input for the belt on this side, I can just bring this all the way around here, just like so. And I can build the line on this side. If I wanted, I could bring it all onto the same line, or I could bring it onto 2 lines and then connect it at the end, which is probably what I'll do, because I think it'll look a bit nicer. So yeah, I'll do that and show you what I mean. So that all worked out fine. I just had to bring the the conveyor belt just around the side, because I left plenty of space for that, which I wish I left plenty of space over here, but I mean, this works too. So I decided to make them float. I think I'll be able to put something down in the middle here, as this is going to be like, I'm just going to repeat what I've done here for this instead. Only difference is this belt work won't be here, and I'm just going to belt it underneath and bring it up top. But other than that, it's just going to be the exact same design, and I'm going to try and make this bit underneath a walkway, just to kind of make it look nice so it doesn't look as out of place, just because it does look a bit funky being so far out, which I could have done differently. Like if I just placed the what are they called, stackable conveyor poles over here instead, it would have worked fine, but I put them out here instead. It's just what I ended up doing. But yep, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side, and I'll be back when that's done. So I did quite a bit of work off cam. I done all the pipe work and all the conveyor lifts. There wasn't really any problems. The only kind of problem I came up with that I had to deal with was this thing here. On this side, it's on the right. On the other side, it's still on the right, but obviously on the opposite end, and it wouldn't fit, so I just had to budge it along a little bit. It wasn't too much of a problem. It was just kind of like there. As well, because I want this to look really nice, I decided to change this. Originally, I had the 3 pipelines going from here, but what I did instead is I brought the pipelines underneath this middle bit here, and just pipe them around like this, and I split them off a bit easier. I just think it looks a lot nicer this way. I've put all the power cables down already, so everything can be powered on whenever I want, just from this one switch here, which I've placed just at the very entrance of the factory. The only other problem that I kind of have is obviously I'm producing 2,700, and the max consumption of everything here is 1,237, and I'm using about on average, I'm going to say 1,500. Obviously right now it's not that bad, but if I decide to take anything out of any kind of storage, it will go up to 1,500, which means I'm using all 2,700 of my megawatts and obviously it says I have a capacity of 3,000, but that's because I have what are they called? Biomass burners. I still have some of them set up. They do have solid biofuel in, but I'd rather not use them. They're just there if I like run out of power. So I might have to burn into that, which is a shame. But other than that, that's kind of like this bit done. I will have to turn this on before I set up the power generation, which I didn't want to do, but I realized in order to get the like other stuff, like the fuel generators, I need plastic and rubber, so it makes sense to turn this system on and just set up a bunch of fluid storage. I'll show you them at the end. These fluid buffers, I didn't calculate how much heavy residual fuel it can hold, but I put 18 on both sides, so I'm hoping this will last long enough to be able to use to get enough plastic and rubber. It should be. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. Plus also I can't have the large ones just yet, because once again I need plastic and rubber to unlock them. So let's just turn this factory on. So kind of what's next now that we have our rubber and already the rubber and plastic's already been made. Actually as well, this is probably a good time to get an awesome sink set up. Yep, so now it just means whenever I get too much rubber and plastic, the overflow, when the bins are full, And it's just going to go straight into this awesome sink here. Just going to get me a few points. Yep. So the next step is to go on to the next milestone. We've already got plenty of plastic, and I'd imagine there's got plenty of rubber in here as well. Yep. So let's go back to the hub. I'll see you then. So I've now got everything I need to go on to the next tier. I just need to put everything in. As well, I think I'm going to go pretty much straight on to the next milestone as well. So before I start building anything else, I'm going to just go straight on to this one. I also thought it was quite weird how the fuel generators are in the same thing as the conveyor lifts. It's just, yeah, it seemed kind of unnecessary. It should have been like here. I feel like they just wanted to put it in tier 6, but yeah, we just need to select this tier. So the only thing that I don't have yet is computers, but now that I have that other one, I should be able to buy it in the awesome shop. Yeah, 50 computers, that's a lot of tickets though. So print off a bunch. Two stacks of them. Yep, so I now got 100 computers. Oh wait, it's still being here. Oh, wait. Okay, I have 200. It says it contains 50 computers. I pressed it twice. And it's... Wait, what? Did it get it 4 times? If it did, that's a lot of tickets wasted. Oh well, I guess I got a bunch of computers. Right. So, yeah, so I can just put this straight into here and get my fuel generators. On top of that, I may as well, now that I have my manufacturers, let's see what I need to make them. Yeah, I can already make a few. So I'm gonna start making heavy modular frames. I already have a few from when I went out to collect hard drives last video. I didn't put them in the awesome sink because I thought I'd be using them. So perfect. I think as well, yeah, I have 70, so that's like perfect. I'll be able to place down these manufacturers and still have, oh wait, I'm gonna place this a bit more centered. Good, I don't like how that looks. About there. I think that's as center as I'm gonna be able to get it, unfortunately. But I'm just gonna make these heavy modular frames as well. I'm gonna see what it is for computers. Oof, that's not the nicest recipe. Alright, heavy modular frames. I need to get a bit of power. Actually, I'm trying to hide most of the power cables if possible, because I just think it looks much nicer. Oh. So just being around here, like that. So now it's just going to be making me heavy modular frames, and I think I'm going to just put the bin about here. I think this would work. Yeah. So now whenever it's made any, it's just going to be in here. I'll probably end up refilling this later on, but for now I just need a few. And then I can make another manufacturer over by my crystal oscillators. So the belt work for the crystal oscillators worked out much better. It was just very simple. And just need a set of crystal oscillators and a bin right here. Just like that. So now whenever it's made any crystal oscillators, it'll just go straight into this bin. And I don't need to handcraft them anymore, which is quite nice. I'm making way more than enough crystal. And, well, I don't need any more silica. I'm making plenty. I already have 2 rock quartz down there to miners. So there's like it doesn't even fit on this one line. So everything's fine there. So now that the pod's back, we can go into the next milestone. As well, while I was waiting for the milestone, I decided to do the math that I would need to do to find out how many fuel generators I need for the amount of turbo fuel I'm making. And I'm going to need 60 fuel generators. And I definitely don't have enough space for that, so I'm going to have to go up multiple floors, which is going to be fun. But we've now got everything that we need. Well, we've got all the machines that we need, and the next step is to actually get turbo fuel. So we need to go hunting for a lot of hard drives. So I'm gonna start that, I guess, little montage thing now. So I managed to get 8 hard drives, and this is the first of the 8. None of these are really that good. Obviously this one's probably the best one if I was just to go for normal fuel. But I'm just going for turbo fuel. I'm gonna go with fine concrete. Right, let's just get into the next one. So once again, no luck with the third hard drive, but I'm just gonna get the pure copper ingots just because it's probably the best one here. So this is my 4th hard drive, and I just got a blueprint that I didn't actually know existed. So you can actually automate these portable miners, which I was not aware of. The recipe is quite difficult for no reason, but like, what? When did this get added? Other than that, the steel frames is actually probably the one I'll go for. And crystal oscillators is just kind of meh, but I'll definitely go in this one. So this one's our 5th hard drive, I believe, and once again, obviously there's no turbo fuel and the recipes aren't the best here. I think the best one here is probably the crystal computers. Just because I'm trying to be really careful when it comes to using Caterium, and also like smart plating isn't too useful, so I'm gonna go with the computers. So we have our 6th hard drive here. Once again, nothing that we really want as such, but I'm going to go with the coated iron plates, as it just uses quite a little bit of plastic. And just iron ingots, and it gives you a lot of just iron plates, so I'll be going with this one. So this one's hard drive 7. Once again, nothing really too important here, and I'm just going to go with the iron alloy ingots. I use these in my last world quite a bit. It just means you use copper and iron, and it just gives you iron. It just means if you have a lot of copper in the area and not too much iron, you can get plenty of iron. So unfortunately, with our very last hard drive, we didn't get our turbo fuel. We ended up getting pretty much nothing that I'm planning on using in the future. So it's kind of like a fight between these two, just so I have this kind of out of the way. Crystal beacons, I don't think there's any reason you'd need this, unless if you're making the beacons for the nuclear, and that's going to be way off in the future. But then again, I probably won't be using either of these at all anytime soon. So I'm actually going to go for the beacons. Plus also it gets rid of it, so now I won't get them again, which will be quite nice. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more videos just like this, please subscribe. My Discord link is in the description down below if any of you are interested in joining that. And have a nice day.
Bye.